Welcome, everybody. My name is Tatjana Luethi. I'm the co-creator of the Merge, the Move, and the Forge Women's Conference series that I have been co-creating with Jose Caballer, the CEO of the school, last year in 2013. And today I'm going to be having a conversation with our guest expert, Runa Bouius, a conscious leadership expert in Catalyst, in regards to our upcoming conference together. And welcome, Runa. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm really good today and happy to be here with you.
Well, I'm very excited about our conversation, and I'm very excited to just be sharing with everybody, what we have been working on together. You are an entrepreneur yourself. You have been running a business for over 20 years in Iceland. You're a former CEO. You are the co-founder of the Conscious Leader Network in Los Angeles. You are a conscious leadership expert in Catalyst. You're also on the board of advisors and a co-producer and co-moderator for our upcoming Together conference. Wow, that was a mouthful. And I'm just really excited to be sharing with our audience, our collaboration for the Together conference, and specifically engage our audience today in a 15-minute conversation around what is conscious business, and why do you think women should join us for this upcoming conference?
Yes, a great topic. So are you already asking me?
Yes.
Okay. No, this is a beautiful invitation. What is conscious business? Maybe I should start by saying what or how has business been conducted over the last, maybe we could say 2,000 years, and say that the main focus has been to compete. It's been a very competitive way of being in the world, and over the last many decades, business schools have taught that the main or sole focus of a business is to create profit for the shareholders. Mm-hmm. The newer way of doing business, which I talk about as the business of the 21st century, and conscious business is another name for it, is really where we focus on maximizing the shared value for all the stakeholders, for the collective. And that means that we are trying to create win-win situations for everybody that have a hand in creating the business. And that means all the employees, it means the suppliers to the business, it means the customers, it means the community that the business is in, and community members, and it means the environment. So we are trying to create a holistic and sustainable, a regenerative enterprise that will benefit everybody instead of just benefiting the shareholders. So that's one big difference. Another one is, and it's related, the way the old business was doing business was the focus on the profit, but now what we do, we focus on the purpose of the business. We want to know why we are doing what we are doing. Why should people care about our business? Why should they care about our products and services? And we often talk about this element as a higher purpose, meaning that the purpose is for us to express ourselves through our products and services, but also doing good for others. Mm-hmm. If we have that combination, we have a winning combination. When I talk about conscious business, I really like using the framework of the conscious capitalism movement. They talk about conscious capitalism as a philosophy and, in a way, a new business model. Okay. And they use 4 pillars to explain what they focus on. And one of them is the higher purpose, like we have talked about. Another one is the stakeholders model, which is that ecosystem I mentioned, the vendors, the customers, the employees, everybody in that relate to the business. Third one is a conscious culture, creating a vibrant, healthy culture, sustainable culture in the company. And the fourth one is conscious leadership, And that means that we want to be engaging people in becoming their own leaders within their teams, within their positions, instead of just wanting to manage people. We want to create conscious leaders that take accountability and responsibility. And by doing that, they get more autonomy and can use more of their gifts and talents. And therefore become happier at work. And guess what? When we are happy at work, we are more creative and innovative, and we create value to the company by giving better customer service.
So it's all,
and that creates loyalty.
It's all interrelated. It's all interconnected. And you just said something, very important, so that we can become happier employees for the ones who are looking for more meaning and purpose in their career and at the workplace, right? I mean, part of why I started creating these women's conferences in collaboration with Jose is that was my journey. I was looking for more meaning and purpose, something where I get to fully be myself authentically beyond conditioning, meaning, maybe what my mom wanted me to be, maybe what our friends want us to be, what our society would like us to be. So sometimes we find ourselves having created a career path that really does not reflect who we are authentically. Hence, there come the days, I recall looking at the window, as I call it, where I just thought to myself, is there really all there is to my life? I cannot imagine that this is going to continue like that.
Yes. This is a sentiment that so many people have, Tatjana, and it was actually similar for me when I decided to sell my successful businesses in Iceland. I was doing everything right, but I felt what was missing was some kind of a deeper meaning, that higher purpose. Even though I knew I was giving value to my customers and to my employees, by in that case I was selling cosmetics and perfumes, distributing many different international brands, and I was helping women to be more confident and have more well-being in their lives. But it was coming more from the outer, and I started to have a need for my own inner fulfillment and be able to give to others from a deeper place. And that's why I embarked on the journey of becoming a conscious leader and explore what is conscious leadership and how can business be created in a different way.
What I like about what you just shared, and you and I spoke earlier about this, it's this transition. If we look at it from the comparison of the 20th century paradigm and the 21st century paradigm, you were mentioning, we're moving from a me focus into a we focus. So where it catalyzes to a certain degree a commitment to the self and self-growth that then transitions into a more, I'm going to call it autonomous, authentic self-expression, yet within the collective.
That's right.
That's right. How did that occur for you, or how do you see that shift happening?
I see that shift happening. Well, can I just use us as an example?
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we are, two independent women with two different businesses. And we want to be of service, both of us. We want particularly to serve and support and empower women. And we are coming together to do just that. You have talents that I don't have. I have talents that you don't have. And combining those two, we manage to be of bigger value to the audience than if I was trying to do things on my own.
Right.
And we are doing this with what a collaborative expert that I interviewed some months ago talks about. He said there's a difference between collaboration and cooperation. And the difference is that cooperation might mean that on the surface it looks like you are doing things together, but you are not really invested in the success of the other. True collaboration is where we are invested in the success of the ones that we are collaborating with. Like, that I am invested in your success.
Right.
I know you feel that.
Oh yes, very much.
You feel that. It gives me joy to see you succeed, to see a young woman entrepreneur stepping into her gifts and talents, have the courage to get out of the comfort zone and into the stretching of doing things she has never done before, and having to learn every single day to do new things, and stepping out of her fear. And it gives me joy to do that. And by supporting you, I am supporting women that will attend this conference and ongoing. And so that is the power of the we. And I think for me, it's all those elements have always been in me. And the way I happened to build my business in Iceland was very much in alignment with that. I just didn't know at the time these concepts we talk about today. There were no resources. There were no talks about these kind of things. So I just did my thing. I just found out how to solve the issues of my customers and came up with a way to do that. But when I look back, I realized that I was an unconscious, practicing conscious leader. So I was always thinking about the well-being of my employees. I was always thinking about creating win-win solutions for my customers, which in that case were retailers and the owners of those retail enterprises, and also for my suppliers, all the companies I worked with, particularly in Paris. I was always trying to create a win-win for all of us. Because if I did that, I understood that I would succeed, because the more I could be sustainable and I could make my customers sustainable, then that would sustain me. And the more I could help my suppliers to be successful, that would sustain me as well.
Right. And you bring something interesting up that we discussed yesterday, something that we're seeing. You said you were actually kind of like unconsciously already practicing these conscious business principles without even maybe consciously being aware if that's what you were doing, because it was just a given to you. That's how you do business, right? So
Yes.
many people, didn't have that fortune to experience business to be like that. And I think that speaks exactly to, one of my main reasons and passion of what I'm doing right now is business can truly be a platform for women to, like I say, not only become a foundation for self-expression and freedom, and to also generate revenue, so financial independence and prosperity, but also to make a difference. And one thing that we have seen, when you and I started collaborating with each other, when I started entering the UX industry, and the more I learn about the lean startup approach, yesterday you were saying that we talked about these different silos that the various industries and sectors have been working in, and within those silos, there's a new movement happening. You have pioneers and leaders that are trying to infuse these new conscious business principles into their own silos. And I think what's happening with us and all the conferences here is that we're bringing in experts from these different sectors, and we're realizing we're all doing the same thing. We're all aiming to reshape and redefine business and therefore society. We're just using different language. And,
that's right.
And I think that the conference really represents the coming together of different experts from different sectors. And we're bringing our language together to highlight and showcase what we're all standing for is for a better future, for a better tomorrow.
That's right. And I want to add to that. And this is important for the women audience to know, because they might be asking, so why should I come to this conference? That the more I learn about the conscious business philosophy, the more I understand that conscious business is what we as women have been waiting for, because it requires so many of our gifts.
Right.
That the masculine traditional business model has not acknowledged, not understood that they need it, and not honored. And that is why so many women in the corporate world are fleeing. They are just saying, I don't want to spend my life like this.
Right.
I want more out of life. So what does it mean? And what I see is that the conscious business platform is really meeting and seeking the qualities that the women have not been, in a way, allowed to shine.
Right.
It is a requirement, and you see, and whether it's in the lean startup system or the core strategy principles that Jose talks about, if you look at what is happening with these new initiatives, it's based on what we call more feminine principles. They are being integrated into this. So the conscious business is really where we need to use the feminine and the masculine energies that we all have, both men and women. We need to weave them together in the most effective and productive way, meaning that we hone both skills and we appropriately use each energies as is needed. And it is weaving together the right brain, the left brain. It's weaving together logic and creativity and innovation, for instance. It's weaving together the doing aspect with the being aspect. Being is representing the feminine. The being is where we dream. We dream from our being state. And we breathe, and that brings new ideas, new initiatives through innovation and creativity. And then we need the doing phase, the more masculine aspect, to manifest it. So it's really giving us a platform to use all of these gifts that we have,
right,
and not just half of it. And that's why this is a very exciting field for women, and particularly for women entrepreneurs that might want to start a new business, or they might already have a business, but they are lacking that deeper meaning like I did. And they want to maybe transform their business to a business that's going to give them more fulfillment and meaning.
Right.
Just like one of our producers, team members is doing, Rocio. She is literally transforming her business into a conscious business.
Right.
And we will be highlighting her and asking her to share with the audience why she wanted to do that and how she's doing it.
Yeah, and what I love what you just shared is it really showcases that. I think it also depends on, what are the assumptions and beliefs a woman may carry about going into business, right? And I think business is really a new opportunity for women to basically extend themselves, who they are individually, with all of their values and their passion. And like you said earlier, the natural gifts and skills and talents that we simply get to scale up into a higher platform, into a larger platform that now has a bigger reach. Because through the power of business, we can do so much more than we could do on an individual level.
Yeah, and that you just said is so important, because I often refer to Einstein's quote where he says that we can't solve our existing problems that we face on the planet today with the same kind of thinking that we created it with.
Right.
So what is it we have been missing? What is it we need to do? We need to lift ourselves to a different level of thinking and behaving and creating from. And what I see is that what we are adding are the feminine principles that have been lying dormant. So that's really, we are activating that within all of us. We are pulling them up and activating them in our toolbox and saying, okay, this isn't just something nice to have. This is really, really important as we create a business.
And the other thing that I love about that, what you just said is, and you said it earlier, is we're really pioneering a new type of business model. Because one thing that I struggled with as I was making my transition is that I did not resonate with the traditional way of how to do business. It just didn't sit right. It wasn't me. It didn't feel authentic, right? And I think with all the various experts that we're bringing in from the conscious business movement, together we're really creating a new type of business model.
We are, and I want to say something also about that. Yes, we are bringing in experts, but I want to really stress that the business model that's emerging in the 21st century isn't fixed in stone. We don't have all the answers already. We are experimenting with new ways of doing business. So a lot of new initiatives are coming to life, and then are being tested, and to see which ones really work and which might not work so well. So every person, every woman that comes to this conference, she can come with that in mind, that she is a part of creating this new emerging business paradigm.
Right.
So it's not that you are coming just to take in, like a parrot, to take in what people are saying to you. It's more, we are having a dialogue about what's happening, what's occurring, what's working, what's not working. And then each participant can start adding their expertise, their insights, their experiences. Mm-hmm. And when they create their business, it will be their unique expression.
Right. So what we're doing is we're collectively in the making of a new conscious business model.
That's right. We are in a way, we are gathering the wisdom from the collective.
Right. Ooh, I like how you said that.
Yeah. And that's why I think your format for the conference is very conducive to that, because it's very much dialogue style. Mm-hmm. Instead of speaking to people. Right. It's very interactive. So I trust that the participants will feel inspired and engaged and uplifted, and go home with a new purpose and new outlook on how they can make a meaning, a deeper meaning in their own lives and in the lives of others.
Yep, absolutely. That's the vision. That's the purpose. Now, with that, we're almost at the end of our conversation. Let's just announce really quick what we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks, where you and I will have a conversation about the different pillars of the conscious capitalism business model. What should we announce, and what can the audience expect in our conversation for next week?
Right. We thought it would be interesting for our audience to get a glimpse of what these 4 pillars of the new conscious capitalism business models are, which means that we might make a clip on higher purpose, another one on the stakeholders model, the third one on conscious culture, and the fourth one on what is conscious leadership. Mm-hmm. And I will, at the conference, I will go deeper into that by facilitating a workshop, which we call What is Conscious Leadership? Conscious Leadership in Action, what it is and why you should care. So, and I might, if we have time, I think we have 6 weeks to the conference, mm-hmm. We might want to add one more, which is, what does it mean to be a conscious leader?
Okay.
Because all these things we talk about, we can't really manifest any of it if we don't take ownership of leading ourselves first and foremost.
Right.
And then we want to know, what does that mean?
So if we do want to redefine and reshape our society through business, we really have to start with being conscious as ourselves. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. And that is a requirement to be able to think and behave differently. We need to raise our own level of awareness. We need to raise the bar for ourselves first. And if each individual does that, we start to make changes.
Right. Absolutely.
Collectively.
Yeah. So these are going to be very exciting conversations coming up over the next couple of weeks. So let's just give a quick overview when the conference will take place. So again, there's going to be a 2-day conference for women who want to create more meaning, purpose, and profit in their career. It will take place on Saturday and Sunday, September 13 and 14, at WeWork in Hollywood. And as Runa has already expressed, this is going to be a very interactive conference with interactive panels, and we're going to have hands-on workshops. Also, we want to announce that we do have an early bird, so make sure not to miss out on the early bird. The early bird is currently $299. We have about 24 tickets for that price range. After that, it's going to jump up to $449. And I also want to take the opportunity right now to thank our sponsors, Whole Foods in Venice and WeWork in Hollywood. I want to thank Vidro Media, which is Rocio Villalobos. She's heavily involved with the conference as a producer and will also be part of some of the panels at the conference. And then I want to thank you, Runa, for being a sponsor, on the board of advisors, a hands-on co-producers, and also a dear friend of mine. So this is very, very exciting for me, and it's an amazing journey. So I just really want to thank you as well for being part of this.
Well, thank you, Tatjana. It's a joy to collaborate with you and co-create with you. And I am absolutely thrilled to be able to bring the notion of and the attention to conscious business and conscious leadership in the world of women in business.
All right. So with that, thank you, everybody, and stay tuned for our next upcoming clip next week. Thank you. Goodbye. Bye, Runa.
Bye.